Hey guys, Natasha Tessier here with Dwell Realty and Design. Welcome to my channel. I'd love for you to subscribe. Today, I wanted to tell you all about the pros and cons of living in Montgomery, Texas. Hi there, I'm Natasha Tessier. I own Dwell Realty and Design. And welcome to my channel, Anything and Everything Houston. Today, we are going to talk about Montgomery, Texas. And Montgomery is a little suburb further out than, say, Tomball, Magnolia, Woodlands. It's kind of a little bit further out. If you're looking on a map, you can see Lake Conroe, and Montgomery is the town right in that area, part of Lake Conroe, all that area. It's where the Texas flag was born, which is kind of cool. And the little town of Montgomery is super cute. It has lots of boutiques, antique stores, very small town feel with small town charm, lots of local restaurants, not as many chains. They do the same kind of parades and different things that Tomball does, so it definitely has that small town charm. Today, I just want to go over all the pros and cons. I'm going to start with the cons and then we'll go into the pros. And I couldn't find a ton of bad reasons. Probably the biggest reason is people think it's far. So if you're one of those people that has to work in the city of Houston, you're going to have a long commute. It could be 45 minutes to an hour. A lot of people in that area just commute to, say, Tomball, which is probably like 30 minutes. But if you're going all the way into the city of Houston, you're going to have quite a drive. So, and just if you're one that likes to go downtown and go to Astros games and go to, the Texans or whatever, it is definitely far. So not something you'd want to do every single day, but that's probably one of the big complaints when people say, oh, Montgomery is so far. I tend to like the small town and the space, but that's just me. A lot of people want the city. It's really only 20 minutes from the Woodlands, which to me has pretty much everything I would ever need. And maybe 10 minutes from things like, Target, grocery store, Chick-fil-A, those kind of things. But the city of Houston, it is quite a trek away. So that's probably one big con. I feel like there's a lot of land out here, but I feel like the housing is affordable. I feel like the land is expensive. So I have a lot of people who call me and they say, oh, I want to move to Texas and I want, 2 acres with a small house. Well, the small house is easy. You can get a small house, 200,000, 300,000. But when you want that acreage, I feel like the acreage can be expensive. I tend to think that in Montgomery County, it's a little bit more expensive. Part of that is the schools are so highly rated that it's highly sought after. And ever since COVID hit, that value is going up and up because people are trying to get further and further out of the city. So I feel like here, the value keeps going up. But I feel like the land, if you're looking for land, Montgomery can be a little bit on the pricey side of things. So all of a sudden, that house with 3 acres goes way up versus a house with, a 10,000 square foot lot, obviously. So that was another con that I came up with. I couldn't really think of much more besides the commute times and just the expense of the land, but I had a lot of pros of living here. So the first thing I would say is I mentioned the schools. They're all highly rated. Montgomery ISD, if you look it up, is very highly rated. There are 2 high schools. There's Montgomery High School and Lake Creek High School, and both highly rated. All the elementary, junior high, high school are all extremely highly rated for the state and rank very high. So that's probably the biggest draw for a lot of people are the schools. I find the people out here are super friendly and just a little more small town charm. So not as much hustle bustle as the city. And I just think in general, people tend to be a little bit friendlier out in Montgomery. I mentioned the small town charm. There are parades and different festivals and farmers markets and a lot of things that occur in the small town. A lot of people like it because it's so green out here. So it's hilly. Houston is really flat. It's near Galveston. It's right near the coast. It's very, very flat and a lot of city and a lot of concrete. As you come out to Montgomery and the further you go out towards Lake Conroe, it's really pretty. It's hilly and lots of beautiful ranches and hilly trees and kind of gorgeous drives and different things where it's just lined with trees. So I feel like the terrain out here is a lot prettier than the city of Houston. And of course the lake. So Lake Conroe is a really gorgeous lake, and a lot of people either have a boat or have a membership to a boat club, and they spend, tons and tons of time, whether that's surfing or bass fishing or just out on a pontoon boat or wakeboarding or rafting or tubing or whatever. Montgomery is right there right on the lake. So a lot of people live on the lake or live in lakefront communities and really enjoy being right there on the lake. There's Walden is a lakefront community, April Sound, Bentwater, there's Grand Harbor, there's a ton of different ones that you can go to. So, and then a lot of people live, like I've done a video on Wood Forest. It's a very, very popular master plan community. And it's 10 minutes to like Conroe and then 10 minutes to the Woodlands. So it's kind of sandwiched in between. And it now has like its own grocery store and coffee shops and workout places and all that right in the little neighborhood. So that's growing out that way. A lot of people, can be a pro or a con, but there's a lot more wildlife out here because we're kind of in the hills a little bit more. So some people love that, some people don't. I tend to like it, but there's a lot more deer and things running around throughout the communities and stuff because it's a little bit more isolated from the city. With that, people think that it's a little bit more peaceful. I was actually driving to my son's school this morning to drop off something that he left. It is very peaceful drive, quiet. I don't know, just kind of out of the way a little bit. So if you're one of those people who likes to sit on your back porch and not hear anything, then you may want to look further out towards Montgomery if you don't mind driving 10 or 15 minutes to the store or whatever, and you like your space, then this might be a good place for you to look. And with that, it's a lot less hectic. There's not a ton of, once you get out here, there's not a ton of traffic or sitting at lights forever or anything like that. Now you have to go into the city to get, to big events and stuff. So Montgomery is extremely conservative. So for the most part, a lot of people out here, and again, I don't talk politics on my channel, but a lot of people out in Montgomery are very, very conservative if you're looking for a place with, where good Christian values. A lot of people go to church, and a lot of people very conservative in the way that they're trying to raise their kids. That's definitely how I would describe Montgomery. And just the counties. I mean, you can look at if you're talking politics, you can look at Harris County and how it votes every year versus Montgomery County. Very different, almost opposite counties. Now, Harris County is all the city of Houston, and then Montgomery County is further out. So anyway, I hope that is good information for you. It's a great area. A lot of people really, really like it. And like I said before, a lot of the city is moving out to Montgomery County, especially since the pandemic. It seems like more and more people are trying to get away from the big city and further out. And there's definitely a lot of growth out this way, a lot of new commercial development, and there are neighborhoods if you're looking. Like I said, there's Wood Forest, and then all the lakefront communities feed Montgomery schools, or most of them, I should say, not all of them. And then there's, acreage communities that have land as well, and they have big lakes in the neighborhood, and they have, say, 1 to 5 acre lots where people have built, and you can get houses in there. Again, those tend to be a little bit more expensive because you have the land, but just all depends on what you're looking for. So anyway, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I'm Houston Realtor Natasha on Instagram, and I'm just Natasha Tessier on Facebook. My number is below. If you need help with anything or you just have questions about the area, I'd love to help you. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And if I don't answer, I probably didn't get your message. I'm pretty responsive. So anyway, have a blessed day.